Every person carries both fear and courage inside. Sometimes fear makes us stop, but courage helps us move on. Finding the middle point between them is one of life's greatest lessons. In a TED Talk, Cara E. Yar Khan shares her personal story to show what it really means to find this balance. And I'm Troy. I will retell Cara E. Yar Khan's talk in simple English so that everyone can understand it more easily. This is especially for people whose first language is not English, and for learners who want to improve while also receiving her inspiring message. In this video, I will play the role of the speaker so you can feel the talk more clearly. Before we start, if you enjoy learning English through stories like this, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me to keep making more videos for you. Alright, now let's begin the story. I'll tell it in simple English so you can understand easily and also get the powerful message behind it. When we are young, we are brave in a simple way. We dream without fear about what our life can be. Maybe you wanted to be an astronaut or a rocket scientist. Maybe you dreamed about visiting every continent in the world. Since I was a small child, I also had a dream. I wanted to work for the United Nations in some of the hardest countries on Earth. With a lot of courage, that dream became real. But courage is special. It does not just appear when we need it. Courage comes after we think deeply and work hard. It is always a mix between fear and bravery. If we have no fear, we may do foolish things. If we have no courage, we will never try something new. The balance between fear and courage is where the magic happens, and we all face this balance every day. Now I want to talk about my wheelchair. I did not always use it. I grew up like many of you, running, jumping, and dancing. Dancing was something I loved very much, but when I was in my mid-20s, I started to fall down many times without reason. A few years later, doctors found the cause. I was diagnosed with a rare genetic condition called hereditary inclusion body myopathy, or HIBM. It is a disease that makes muscles slowly weaker from head to toe. HIBM is very rare. In the United States, fewer than 200 people are diagnosed with it. Today, there is no treatment and no cure. Usually, 10 to 15 years after the disease begins, people lose the ability to move their arms and legs. That is why I now use a wheelchair. When I first heard the diagnosis, everything in my life changed. It was very scary because I had no experience with long-term illness or disability. I also did not know how fast the disease would grow. But what hurt me most was hearing other people give advice. They told me to stop dreaming so big. They said I should leave my international career. They said nobody would marry me. They even told me it would be selfish to have children. For me, it was shocking and wrong that other people wanted to decide the limits of my dreams. I could not accept that, so I ignored their words. I got married. But I decided that I would not have children. After my diagnosis, I continued to work for the United Nations. I spent 2 years working in Angola, a country that was trying to recover after 27 years of a very hard civil war. But I did not tell my employer about my diagnosis for another 5 years. I was afraid they would think I could not manage my job and that I might lose it. I was working in countries where polio was common. One day, I heard someone say that maybe I had survived polio. When I heard this, I thought my secret was safe. Nobody asked why I was walking with a limp, so I kept quiet. It took me more than 10 years to really understand how serious HIBM was, even though normal daily tasks were becoming more and more difficult. Still, I continued to follow my dream of working around the world. Later, I was chosen to be the disability focal point for UNICEF in Haiti. I worked there for 2 years after the terrible earthquake in 2010. After that, my work brought me to the United States. By this time, the disease had gotten much worse. I needed leg braces and a walker to move around. but I still wanted adventure. I began to dream of a big outdoor journey. And what could be bigger than the Grand Canyon? Did you know that out of every 5 million people who visit the rim, only 1% go down to the bottom of the canyon? I wanted to be in that 1%. The problem was, the Grand Canyon is not easy to reach. To go down the 5,000 feet of loose and steep land, I would need help. But when I meet obstacles, I don't always feel fear first. I usually believe that I will find a way. So this time I thought, if I cannot walk down, maybe I can learn to ride a horse. And that is what I did. This choice began a 4-year journey. During this time, I moved between fear and courage as I prepared for a 12-day expedition. It would be 4 days on horseback to cross the Grand Canyon from rim to rim, and 8 days rafting 150 miles of the Colorado River. All of this was recorded by a film crew. Spoiler alert, we succeeded. But I also learned how my deepest fear could create the same amount of courage inside me. On April 13th, 2018, I was sitting 8 feet above the ground on a Mustang horse named Sheriff. My first look at the Grand Canyon filled me with shock and fear. I suddenly discovered something new. I was afraid of heights. There was no way to give up now. I used all the courage I had so that fear would not win. When we started at the South Rim, the only thing I could do to stay calm was to breathe slowly, look up at the clouds, and listen to the voices of my team. But then, in the very first hour, something bad happened. I could not sit straight in the saddle. When the horse went down a big step, I fell forward and hit my face on the back of the horse's head. There was panic, and my head hurt very much. The trail was too narrow, so we could not get off the horses. Only when we reached the halfway point, 300 feet down, about 2 more hours later, could we stop? Then we took off my helmet and saw a big bump on my head, as big as an egg. But there was no ice pack in our gear. How was that even possible? Luckily, the swelling moved outward, and later it went into my face. It gave me 2 huge black eyes. What a funny way to look in a documentary film. This journey was not easy or peaceful, and that was exactly the point. Even though I was scared, I climbed back on the horse. Going down to the bottom of the canyon took 10 hours. And that was only day 1 of the 4 days of riding. Next came the strong rapids, the Colorado River in the Grand. Canyon has some of the biggest whitewater rapids in the whole country. To prepare, we practiced with me swimming through a smaller rapid, just in case the boat turned over. It was not nice at all. I breathed at the wrong time, swallowed river water, and could not move myself well. Yes, it was frightening, but it was also amazing. I saw waterfalls, smooth canyon walls, and rocks that were billions of years old, changing color as the sun moved during the day. The Grand Canyon is real wilderness, and it truly deserves all the praise it gets. The expedition, with all the planning and the trip itself, made me feel a kind of fear I had never felt before. But even more, it showed me how brave I can be. My Grand Canyon journey was not easy. It was not like a strong woman walking easily through amazing nature. It was me, crying, very tired and hurt with 2 black eyes. It was scary. It was stressful, but it was also exciting. Now that the trip is finished, it is easy to act calm about what we did. I know that I want to go on the river again. This time, I want to raft all 297 miles. But I also know I will never ride horses there again. It is simply too dangerous. And this is my main point. I am not only here to show you my video, I am here to remind all of us that life is a lesson. It is about finding balance between fear and courage. It is also about learning what is a good idea and what is not. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends to support my work. Today, we learned about the balance between courage and fear through Cara E. Yar Khan's story. I hope it gave you inspiration and also helped your English learning. See you in the next video!